what we're talking about are when a line, we were looking at things, last time we were looking at a diagram like that, yeah? Just like that, where two lines cross. And what did we know about those angles? All four add up to 360. Anything else we know? Okay.
Yeah, 2 and 4 are vertically opposite, and 1 and 3 are vertically opposite.
Yeah, 2 and 4 vertically opposite, 1 and 3 vertically opposite. Anyone else got anything else to add? Ryan?
The bottom, the bottom.
So we know that 1 and 3 are vertically opposite, 2 and 4 are vertically opposite. Is there anything else we know about this diagram? Jess? 4 and 1 are supplementary. Well, 2 and 1 are supplementary. Okay.
2 and 3 are supplementary.
2 and 3 are supplementary, and finally, 3 and 4 are supplementary. Okay? Supplementary means add up to 180. Okay. And then, at the end of last lesson, we introduced one where we've got parallel lines. So we had ones where there were no parallel lines, and we had to treat it like 3 different diagrams. But now, we've got 2 parallel lines, and both of them are crossed by something that is called a transversal. So I've given you on the sheet, so you can remember that vocabulary. Okay, now it says here, measure each angle, but I think we've done enough measuring, so I'm just going to ask you, let's decide an angle for number 1. What could it be, Harry? 75. Okay, I'm going with 75 degrees. Okay, so let's write 1 down here as 75. If we all do that, we can check it together. Now, using that information and what we did at the end of last lesson, you probably can fill out what all the others are. So I'm going to pause for 2 minutes and let you fill that table in. Right, so you said 3 was 75 as well, because they are. Did you say that 2 was 105? Did you say that 4 was also 100? Did you say that 5, because it's the repeat of this diagram, is also 75? Therefore, whatever's happening here is also happening down. Yeah. Yeah. So we basically have 75, 10. 75, 10. Okay. Is it 75? 5? Yeah. Yeah. 6, 105, 75. 1. Okay. How easy are angles and parallel lines? Stupid, right? So basically, the way I try to remember it is if this line crosses one line and then this line is parallel, basically you can treat it like, if I split the line like that, it's just a repeat of the same diagram. Okay, so all the angles match up. Does that make sense? Jordan, I noticed your booklet has nothing written in it. Pardon? Well, don't. Let's write it down. Go borrow a pencil basket. So we can actually get on. Alright, so does that make sense? So we're looking at 2 diagrams that look, they're basically the same diagram. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at some vocabulary. Parallel lines and transversal angle patterns. Now, one thing we've already got is that the vertically opposite angles, we could potentially say it's an X pattern, makes sense? Vertically opposite, these ones are also vertically opposite. What do we know about them? Vertically opposite angles are the same, equal. We say are equal. Okay? We're writing this down? Oh. That's on the next page. Now we're getting some new ones, which is actually. So let's fill this in. If that was 111, this one over here would be 1. Simple as that. They're vertically operated. Now, new one for you. Corresponding angles. Does anyone know what the word corresponding means?
It's supposed to be there.
Kind of. Not far, not quite, doesn't quite work with this, but it's not far off. Okay?
They're the same angle, just on the just spin back.
So the word corresponding is when two things match up, like, oh, that corresponds to this. So footballers amongst you, yeah? If two players correspond in the same team, they basically both play in the same position, yeah? So Ramsdale for Arsenal corresponds to what? Ben White doesn't play in goal. De Gea in Man United. Alisson in the... No? So we're talking about a different team, but the same place. So in angles, an F pattern, maybe you could look at the top and think, why is it an F? Some people call it an F angle. Alright? So corresponding is when it's the same angle but in a different place in the diagram. So remember I said up here, if I split it, two angles that are corresponding, well, we would say that 4 and 8 are the same angle but in the other position, right? The other team, the other diagram. Now, if we look at that in this diagram, here it is, look. Here is your corresponding angles, and some people will call them F angles. Can you see why? If you look at the red line, which includes those two angles, it looks like an F. Now, just to make it slightly more interesting, is that F doesn't have to look exactly like the F we recognise. It could be backwards, it could be upside down, it could be upside down and backwards. So, for instance, if I were to do it like here, so here, here, and here, can you see that's an upside down backwards F? Well, this angle would be corresponding to this one. Yeah? Alright? And what do we know about them? Well, corresponding angles, an F pattern, often called F angles, because it just looks like an F, are, any guess? Equal. So if we can identify where the F angles are, we just know to write down the same number. So for instance, down here, this one is 142. So what's this one? 142.
So for the F all the angles will be the same.
So within the F shape, yeah. So if I look at this one, that this angle is made up using that line, got this one. So can you see how the F shape is there? Yeah. So with the two parallel lines and its transverse. Can everyone make sure you are writing this down? Yeah, I don't want you kind of just zoning out and yeah. So we know that's 100. So F angles are the Z or Z pattern for the Z angle. Yeah, I call them Z angle. Their real name, and by the way, you do need to know these because these will be in your assessment. It will be identify the alternate angles. I won't in your assessment say identify the Z angle or Z angle. I will say identify alternate angles. And if you don't remember what alternate means, then you won't know. But does anyone know what alternate means? Right? Well, actually, I think it depends how you say it. Maybe if I say alternate, what does alternate mean?
Change.
Change? Yeah. Switch. Switcheroo.
Like a switch.
Yeah.
Changeable.
Changing, yeah. So alternate, if I say it like alternate, it means different. But alternate means swapping from one to the other, yeah? So if we look at the Z angle up on this diagram, right? So we have the alternate or alternate angles. Do you understand why it's a switch?
Yes.
So here's the Z shape, and we basically go from switching sides, one side to the other side. Now again, this is even same with the F angle. The Z could even go the other way around, backwards. Here's the other thing. It could. Let me draw another diagram for you.
There's one below it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Use that, but I get you. Thank you. A Z angle or an F angle doesn't actually even have to be connected. So, for instance, here is right. I see two. So if I say to you, here is the bottom of the Z, right? The top of the Z or Z could be down there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So F angles and Z angles don't even need to be connected F's and Z's. Alright? Got it? So they just kind of the alternate, remember alternate, they're on the opposite side. But what do you think I'm going to say? Alternate interior angles are equal. So 36 here, the alternate one is over here, it's going to be 36 again. Yes. Down here? There? Yeah. Yeah. And we can use any of our rules because they would also just be vertically opposite angles, wouldn't they? We've got lots of ways of identifying what the angles are. Right. I'm not going to talk about the test until we're, yeah? I will tell you that you do need to remember the vocabulary. That's the one thing I... No. Always. Every test we do, you can have the note sheet. Yeah? So if alternate and corresponding are not something you can remember, you would write that on the sheet. Okay. And finally, co-interior angles. So this is the 134. Co-interior angles is a C shape. So if you think about it, I'm going along here, down there, and there. It's a C shape. It's straight. Well, straight C, still a C. What do you think? If co-interior angles are no, they're not opposite. They're not equal, but we do are. So what does that mean? Add up 180. So if this one is 134, this angle is 180. 80 subtract 134, which is
46.
46. Well done. Yeah. Co-inferior.
Add up to 90 degree.
Add up to 180.
Was reading off of the sometimes talk to myself.
Just like before, the C shape could be backwards.
So that's be connected.
What? Okay.
Okay, that's still not be connected.
Also, yeah, you could say, but that way and that would, but that would actually be a Z. No, that would be this one, and down here would make C. So the relationships are always there. Is everyone with me, Jack? Any questions? No? Okay. Before I let you get on with some questions then, let's just fill out these. Put our notes. Complementary angles.
Add up to green.
Yeah, add up to 90. Supplementary, we've already said, add up to 180. Alright? So these will be great notes for you, won't they? This if you can't remember, this is really a vocabulary sheet. So now you've got lots of questions to ask. Let's go. So if this one is 16, this one is going to be 70. Because 16 plus 74 equals this one. Supplementary is this one's 129. This one's going to be 51. Because 129 plus 51 equals 60. Okay. All right, over to you. You can get on with the rest of those questions. By the way, when it says find the missing angles, the sheet is a little bit, it's difficult to produce, but wherever you see the angle, you could draw a little arc where that angle is. So 94 is there. And then you're finding the missing one is the other one that has the arc. The 30 is not this one, it's this one down here. And 150 is this one, so you have to work out this one and this one. Got it? 125 is this one, and you're going to work out. Okay?
Yeah.